Yeah.
So next, Bri, let's move on to a topic we talked about in the last episode. We're going to go a little bit more in detail and some of the updates.
Okay.
Let's talk a little bit about Diddy.
Oh, the Diddler.
Yeah, that's what they call him, right? That's what they've been calling him, right? That's what they've been calling him. And I wanna go a little bit more in detail on that topic from last week. Because last week I didn't go into much specifics on my end. And I did follow the case because of the fact, being completely transparent with our audience, Diddy was a guy who, I looked up to coming up from an entrepreneurship standpoint. And I was fortunate enough to meet him. I told my story of that in another episode. And yeah, I mean, with this whole trial and this whole case to me, I think he was overcharged, in my opinion, and it was proven in the court.
Yeah, you did say that.
Yeah, it was proven in the court because they charged him with RICO and racketeering. He was proved not guilty. They charged him with trafficking. That's what we'll say here on YouTube. And he was found not guilty. And then they actually just found him guilty on interstate, right? Pretty much that's what they found him guilty on. I'm going to be quite frank with you. When it comes to the case, Diddy actually won.
Okay.
He was facing up to life in prison. Right? Up to life in prison. Yeah. Because, I mean, RICO racketeering, that's like, they're really saying like he's like a John Gotti. You know what I mean? Like he's literally, like Bad Boy Entertainment was like the mob. Like we like the mafia.
That's what they threw on him?
That's what they're looking at. Like he's leading a criminal enterprise. Right? And he's making moves in the furtherance of the criminal enterprise. He was found not guilty. It's trafficking. I've seen some interviews of some of the male that were interviewed. Yeah. That actually came and had relations with his girlfriends, with Diddy's girlfriends. I seen some of the interviews. And they all said that Cassie and Jane were completely complicit with what went down. They was not forced. It was no coercion. Matter of fact, they say Cassie paid them the money. Right? Like, at times, Cassie had a little envy towards if they were spending a little too much time with their girlfriends, if they had girlfriends, outside of coming to spend time with her and Diddy. Like, it was no force or coercion nowhere in there. I know we seen a video, which was very despicable in terms of Diddy beating on her like that in the hotel.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we see, but that's not what he was on trial for. He was on trial for RICO racketeering, trafficking, interstate. That's what he was on trial for. If they wanted to try him for DV, they would have to do that in the state of California, and they would have to do that some years ago. It was outside of the statute of limitations. Right? Which is, she never pressed charges when that happened. Matter of fact, after that hotel incident happened, see, they never talk about this, right? Because they always just want to character assassinate, and I'm gonna say it. And this is not just about a race thing. I'm gonna be quite frank with you. I'm being real. They want to character assassinate a black man. Because literally a couple of days or a day later, after that hotel video, Diddy and Cassie was at a movie premiere for Cassie. They all in pictures together, smiling and everything. Like nothing even happened.
Yeah.
And she never called the police after it happened to her to press charges.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm going to be quite frank with you. I felt like Cassie got with Diddy. She actually left her previous boyfriend named Ron Leslie.
Oh, I remember Ron.
He's the one who helped produce her hit record that literally landed her, on,
Diddy radar.
Diddy radar, Me and You.
Safe to say.
Right? And Diddy got behind it. And literally she left him to be with Diddy. Right? She left him to be with Diddy.
Yeah.
after he really loved Cassie. He was really a producer for a lot of her music in the beginning stages, and she left him for Diddy. And I'm gonna be quite frank with you. I know some women may not like this, but I know we have a lot of men view this podcast. To me, Cassie was a big opportunist, right? And that's just in my opinion. I don't think she's ever worked a job a day in her life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Diddy took care of her for many years financially.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yeah, she had to go and participate in these escapades, but her lifestyle was taken care of. Now, the escapades to me are very weird and strange. Yeah. They call it voyeurism. That's not my thing if you're looking at this. That's not my thing at all.
She liked that.
But that was her thing.
Okay.
Obviously, she enjoyed it. A lot of the male I heard their interviews on other platforms say that she enjoyed it. They did it several times for years. Mm-hmm. Right? So to me, it seemed like it was complicit. It don't seem like there was no force, no coercion. It seemed like, hey, she loved Diddy at that time, and she loved the opportunities and the lifestyle that came with being with a famous Black guy who became a billionaire over time. And that's my opinion. Now, I believe Diddy, by him not marrying her and not having no kids from her, and her career not blossoming.
Yeah.
And Diddy started to put Carisha, which is they call Young Miami.
Okay.
Put her on a pedestal when he started dating her. He gave her her own show on Revolt.
Oh, I remember that.
Carisha, please. He gave her own show. So I think Cassie looking at that like, what the hell? Like, I was with you several years doing these quote unquote freak offs, you know, and you never gave me a ring. You never gave me any kids. You didn't take my career to the next level, right? Any of that, I'm going to go on and file a lawsuit. And that's what opened up the can of worms on this entire situation.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It opened up the can of worms. Now, some people would say from a business perspective, because this is the Rise of the 1% podcast, and we talk business here too. Some people would say, okay, Diddy sued the liquor company, right? He sued Diageo. Pretty much led him to becoming a billionaire, right? Because they own Ciroc.
Ah, okay.
And Diddy made a lot of money with Ciroc, right? As a marketer. A lot of money, hundreds of millions of dollars. But then when Diddy tried to push his own liquor, which was a De Leon.
Okay.
And I actually went to a Diddy party here in Atlanta at the Gold Room in Buckhead some years ago. And he was pushing the De Leon. It was all over the building. Like, it was posters. I actually did a YouTube video about it.
There wasn't no freak on, was it?
Nah, I wasn't. No. There wasn't no freak on. I don't go to no freak on. Not no type freak on. But it was in a club, right? The Gold Room. And they had De Leon all over the club. And anyway, Diddy was pushing that brand.
Okay.
And I think Diddy got upset because Diageo didn't put as much money behind De Leon as they did with Ciroc. And also they said George Clooney had a liquor up under Diageo called Casamigos.
Oh, yeah.
And they put a lot of money behind that. So Diddy felt like they was like, basically not putting money behind him because he's Black. So he played the race situation, right? And he sued him. And from what I hear, then they settled with him. And so some people believe that opened up the can of worms with the Cassie situation, right?
Then Leon went back and said, hey,
there's some British people, and they got a whole other type of money.
That's a different money.
Yeah. So them folks like, okay, you want to play with the big boys because you work $1 billion. You think you could play with us? They got multi-billions, right?
Yeah.
That's what opened up the can of worms with it, from what I've seen. Yeah. And see, I didn't go into all this on the last episode, Bri, but I'm going more deep on this episode because I didn't go too much into detail. Yeah. But, from that, man, that opened up that can of worms with the lawsuit, and Diddy settled the lawsuit within 24 hours. So it kind of made him
settled the Cassie.
With Cassie, okay. 24 hours. And so a lot of people, the public opinions, like, oh, he must be guilty. But sometimes they don't realize that people settle because they just don't want to go through the process of going back and forth to court, save their time or whatever. But he settled for $20 million with Diddy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man.
But then, literally some months later, all three of his mansions get raided, right? And then, of course, months later, they put a grand jury together, they indict him, and put him in jail. Hello, this is G Bass, Rise of the 1%, Rise Media. We on this Saturday evening about to get ready to knock out some podcast episodes with some individuals here in the city of Atlanta making some big moves. You can see here, look, this is how it goes down. Here when our guests come and sit down with myself, G Bass, other Rise of the 1% of Rise Media, to have that conversation, to share the story, share the journey, share what you got going on. So listen, everybody got a story, everybody got a journey, and then you got some things going on, then you definitely can get with us and see if it'll be a fit to be on the Rise of 1% podcast and actually have that discussion with myself. It's going to be a link to a form for you to fill out. You said www.theriseof1%.com/pod-form. Again, www.theriseof1%.com/pod-form. It's going to be in this video. You can fill that out, and we can see if it'll be a fit for you to come on and have that conversation with myself. If you don't fill out the form, then obviously it's not for you, and that's fine. We're looking for those that's serious. Those that's serious about rising to the top 1% are already in the 1%. That's what we're looking to sit down with myself right here. As you can see, Rise Media, Rise of the 1%. This is how we get down. We have a great time and have a lot of fun doing it. So once again, if you're serious, make sure you fill out the form. We'll look over the form, see if it's a fit. If it's a fit, we'll reach out. If not, we won't reach out. We'll just continue to move forward. But with that said, this is G Bass. See you soon.